5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a few things I want to talk about today. First off, I do appreciate all the new listeners. I've gotten a few new listeners here recently, and even some good advice. You know, I had one guy tell me, "Hey man, turn your phone sideways. I can't see you when you're in the portrait mode." You know, so that was good advice, and I do appreciate that good advice. I'm an easygoing guy. If you know, as long as you're nice about it and you're not ugly and rude, hey. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I like to hear suggestions like that, things that can make the viewing experience for you guys better. So I turned my phone to the side. Hopefully this is a little bit better. I know I'm in my vehicle, but you know, hey guys, I mean, this grind, this hamster wheel that I'm on with working every day, I have a wife at home, a 15-year-old son, work 40 hours a week, and then I'm trying to also do this channel. So I would like to be able to have all of my videos, you know, at home with my nice background behind me and all of those things. But unfortunately, you know, I've kind of got to get it in when I can get it in sometimes. And at times, the best time for me to get it in is on my commute. On the way home from work, I've got about a 25-minute commute, straight shot down the highway to get back to my house, and I think really well in my vehicle as it is. So I just find that to be a good time for me to kind of get my thoughts out there, and hopefully everything's able to be understood really well and all that stuff. I want to do a little reaction video today, and this is going to be related to the recent video of Jon Jones' arrest. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Believe it or not, like I said, I work full-time, so I had not even seen the Jon Jones arrest video. Can you believe that? Here I am starting a YouTube channel about MMA, and I had not even seen that video. I did not see the video until today, in fact. And I just had a few thoughts on that. So I'm gonna show a little bit of the video, not the whole thing, but then I'm gonna kind of react to it and say a few words and everything like that. So, all right, press play.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, you can stand up, man.
Oh, man. This is so humiliating. I got the Hall of Fame tonight, and then you're going to put me on this by walking down the street.
Come here, do you want me to put you on something?
You don't want to get burned. I'll grab a drink. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Humiliate me, my Hall of Fame. You f***ing nerd. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. You f***ing nerd. I hate you so much. Thank you. My Hall of Fame name. What's your name? Put it on camera.
Doesn't like you, Josh.
Nerd. Don't touch me. Please don't hurt me.
Get your phone everywhere.
Sir. Yes, sir. You f***ing nerd.
Calm down.
On my Hall of Fame night. Say your name publicly. Say it. Garrett what? John. Officer Nerd.
Calm
Garrett.
down, bro.
You heard me on my Hall of Fame night just because I'm big and black. And what did I do? All these officers. What did I do? Officer Garrett Nerd. You heard me on my Hall of Fame night just to have it. I want you to be famous as fuck. And I heard that. I came from my Hall of Fame ceremony, and I'm black, and I have my friends, and I did nothing to you. And I'm not. It was at a ceremony with a Hall of Fame person. I'm not gonna answer your questions no more.
Wow.
Go hang me, hurt me, and kill me. What did I do?
Drinking or what?
Thank you. On my Hall. A black man can't drink. Getting elected into the Hall of Fame, and now this is what I got.
Hall of Fame.
Do you?
Relax. Relax. You all right? You all right? Just relax. You have anything in your pockets, man?
What did I do?
Is it okay if we
What did I do? You. I. The other prison officers. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. No, please don't.
the car.
Yes, sir, please. I just
Control
hit
Mary
the cars.
no suspect is snagged and headed to the hood of one of our patrol cars.
That's your video doing it. Yes, sir. Get in the car. Yes, sir.
They should be
Chill
right
out.
across
Yes, sir. Look at that guy. That's going to be on YouTube tomorrow. Look at him. Yes, sir. We'll get this figured out, man, but you got to calm down. Yes, sir.
They're right in front of the Mirage. They're going to be in the southbound lane.
Okay? Yes, sir. Can we just talk like this?
Straight line.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right. So, you know, to me, when I look at this, guys, is quite honestly is somewhat disturbing. I'm not a huge drinker myself. I will drink. I like to think of myself as a moderate drinker. That doesn't mean I've always practiced moderation, especially in my younger days. There have definitely been times where I drank too much, and there have definitely been times that I have, quote unquote, showed my ass to others around me when I was in that state of mind. And, you know, being a person who has done a little drinking throughout my day, well, let me back up. One of the reasons I don't drink that much now is because I've had some of those instances where I just drank way too much. And drinking is one of those things, if you're not a person who is able to moderate yourself, then at some point throughout your life, you just have to understand that you probably shouldn't drink at all if you can't do it within moderation. When you look at that video, I think about the fact that I've sat and watched interviews with this guy. I've watched this guy get into a cage and dominate other grown men and obviously have a very, very high octagon IQ. Listen, Jon Jones is obviously a very intelligent individual. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, he fights for a living. He's a brute. No, man. No. A lot of the most intelligent guys in the world are doing this sort of thing, and to be able to be successful at something like MMA, especially to compete on that very top elite level, you have to be able to, you have to be a thinking man. You can't just be a brute, you know, a caveman in there swinging a club. It doesn't work that way. And Jon Jones is obviously at the top of his game, so he's obviously a very intelligent, articulate individual. And you can tell in his interviews and stuff as well. One of the first things that jumped out to me when I watched this arrest video of Jon Jones is, I mean, this man was screaming and crying and yelling to police officers that he has never met before, that he hated them. You know who says they hate you? 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. How do I know this? My college degree is actually in child development, so I spent a small portion of my early adult years and young adult years, believe it or not, as a pre-K kindergarten teacher. So I've dealt with kids that are 3, 4, 5, 6 years old a lot. That is a remark from a young kid who has not even developed concrete thought, who has not developed socialization skills. That is a very primal instinct to scream out, I hate you, I hate you. It is also something that adults will revert back to when they've had way too much to drink. Because when you've had way too much to drink, the part of your brain that is able to conceptualize rational thinking is severely affected. Not only motor skills and motor function is affected, but your ability to process cognitive thought is severely impaired, especially if you've been drinking a large amount. And the fact that Jon Jones was screaming at these officers, I hate you, is really made me sad, man, to see that. Because, guys, that's not Jon Jones. That's not Jon Jones. Now, I get it. It is Jon Jones. Physically, that's him. He's there. But that's not Jon Jones. That is Jon Jones in a completely altered state of mind. a state of mind that unless he is drunk and unless he has consumed way too much alcohol, you will never see Jon Jones in that situation. And so I do believe that Jon Jones is one of those people that he just doesn't need to drink. He needs to go get some help. He needs to probably go to AA, do a 12-step program, all of those things to try to get this monkey off of his back, because alcohol is no good for him. Now, this makes a good segue into my next point. So, I was talking about the recent tweet that Jon Jones sent out about his fiance leaving him. He said that she had been gone for about 2 months. Well, she just finalized today that she will not be coming back. Well, I think, in my opinion, that there is a direct correlation between this video of him being arrested, coming out and being made public, and his fiance making that decision. I think she's been away from him for a couple of months. She's taken kind of a hiatus. You know, I think whatever happened that night in Las Vegas, he obviously had way too much to drink. He was completely belligerent with the police officers. I mean, he was going from "I hate you" to, you know, slamming his head on the car to "I can't believe I go to, you know, UFC Hall of Fame and now this, I hate you, I hate you." And then the very next minute, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir." I mean, he was just, the spectrum of his behavior was literally all over the place, guys. And it was really hard to watch. But I think that his fiance has been taking kind of a hiatus, you know, given what happened that night. I think whatever it was, I think he went a little further than he ever had before. And I think that he really scared her that night. She was probably taking a little break, you know, kind of seeing what the lay of the land looked like, and was going to, at some point, you know, possibly try to patch up the relationship, because, you know, when she has 3 children with the guy and he's very successful, he's wealthy, he's well known, you know, I'm sure that, you know, as a woman, it's probably difficult for her to walk away in spite of having, you know, been mistreated by Jones. But my guess is it's probably not the first time that that's happened. It may have been the first time that it's happened to that degree, that maybe he hit her or he struck her. But either way, I think after that night, she made the transition into being out on her own for a little while, taking the kids, and just, you know, getting her head wrapped around what was going on with her and her, you know, longtime fiance. And when this video came out and it was made public of Jon Jones' arrest, my guess is that she saw this video, and all of those feelings and all of that fear that she felt that night, and being scared for not only herself but her children and their safety, all of that, I think, came flooding back to her. And that was when I think she pretty much probably reached out to Jones and said, that's it. That's it. You know, once she saw the kind of condition that he, well, obviously she had already seen what kind of condition he was in that evening, but this was, I think, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Seeing how he reacted with the police and that sort of thing. And, you know, I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I kind of wanted to get a video on this because I'm a person who has messed around some with drugs in my life, and there have been periods of my life where it has been a struggle for me as well. I'm going to be completely honest about that. And seeing, not so much with the alcohol, but with other things, that's a whole nother video. It's a whole nother video. But seeing Jon Jones in that condition, you know, really, I feel for the guy, man. A lot of people are just like, oh, he needs to stop drinking. It's not that easy, man. It's not that easy. And until you walk a step in his shoes, and you're the youngest UFC light heavyweight champion ever. Let me back up. The youngest UFC champion ever was Jon Jones. And until you're that, and until you have millions, and until you have, you know, women throwing themselves at you right and left, everyone that you meet wants to be close to you, wants to be near you, wants to go out and have drinks with you, wants to party with you, wants to do a line of cocaine with you, wants to bring some prostitutes over and party with Jon Jones. I mean, it's one of those things where I feel for him. I feel for him, and especially being a person like himself who obviously struggles with addiction. This is not, this life is not good for him, because he's the kind of guy that, you know, he needs that attention from people, and I think he needs the substance. It's always kind of been a part of his life, probably ever since his younger days. And, you know, it's one of those things, man. You can make millions, you can travel the world, you can be the UFC champion, and you can have all these accolades, but your need for filling your time and your life and your brain with those chemicals, it does not go away. It doesn't go away just because you're now making millions. In fact, it's more prevalent, it's more accessible and available to you when you have that kind of money and you have that kind of clout. So that's what I think. I think that there's a direct correspondence between this tweet from Jon Jones, his fiance telling him that it was finally over, and his arrest video being made public. And listen, man, I am not a Jon Jones hater. I'm not a hater of anyone. Well, I respect everyone, but I certainly have a ton of respect for UFC fighters, and Jon Jones is no exception. I've been a fan of his right out of the gate. Love Jon Jones. I love his style of fighting and just, you know, everything that he's about inside that cage. So I'm definitely not a Jon Jones hater, and I wish only the best for him. And I hope that he comes back at heavyweight and, you know, cuts out a whole new path for himself. I'm looking forward to seeing the part 2 of Jon Jones. But for that to happen, Jon Jones is going to have to make some changes in his life, obviously. This doesn't come from a place of judgment by me. Trust me, because I'm no one to judge anybody. And I've already, you know, alerted you a little bit to my own past. So I definitely cannot pass judgment on anyone. But Jon needs that. And if Jon is going to get back on track and get his career back on track, he is going to have to make some changes in his life and his drinking and his partying and all these other things. So I hope the best for Jon. I really do. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time. I'm getting out of here. Peace.
Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy.